Hey, and what's up guys, my name is Juris and welcome to my Nano aquascaping gallery. Guys, I'm super excited to show you what the aquariums look like right now. Let's start from this side. Over here we have a quite tall DOOA Neo Glass Air with WERBEVIDEO inside. I use Tropica AquaDecor, Bucephalandra and a Cryptocorini, and the Bucephalandra is about to start flowering. Super exciting. Over here we have a shallow terrestrial moss Iwagumi. Over here in the middle we have the Botanica Boutique little moss terrarium. Here we have the object, the 20 centimeter cube that I showed you the making of process in the previous video, as well as the 4-week update on the dry start. If you haven't seen this yet, I highly recommend you check it out. Will be linked above and down in the description below. And yeah, today, because of your voting, we're taking a closer look on the mini pond aquarium. This one is no filter, no CO2, and as you can see, the plants, they've already started to grow through the surface. Super amazing. It starts to balance out, but before I get too deep into the topic, let's jump right into the making of process. So guys, here we have the 30 by 18 by 12 centimeters DOOA Neo Glass Air, and that one is, yeah, one of my favorite sizes, but I like them all. No, honestly, I have to test a few of them and kind of test them a few times to actually figure out which size is my favorite. I really like them all. They're all unique in a different way. That one specifically is like a shallow aquarium. So it's actually deep enough to be flooded, but also shallow enough so the plants can grow out of the aquarium. So this is going to be a shallow aquarium, no filter, no CO2. Yeah, finally Juris is going the low-tech route, but yeah, I mean, that's going to be easy plants, pond style, like a swamp. Epiphytes, mosses, and then stuff that can grow out of the water. And to start this one, I got myself some plants from Tropica. Big shout out to Tropica for providing these plants. And what do we have here? We have some AquaDecor, gonna talk about it in a second. And we got some plants for the background planting. I have ELEOCHARIS mini, I have MARSILEA HIRSUTA, POGOSTEMON ERECTUS. If that one is going to flower, you will know where the name comes from. Hygrophila ARAGUAIA, actually 2 cups of it. We need some red plants, of course, and that one is going to turn red and is going to flower. And then we have some MONTE CARLO. This is from the limited edition, potted. And then we have here some HYDROCOTYLE TRIPARTITA that is going to blend everything together, and some Mordania Kaysak, sort of bamboo-like, looking like plant for the background. And we have AquaDecor. And as AquaDecor, we have here, let me take this out and put it already into the tank as the first element. So as AquaDecor, we have here bogwood with pinnatifida, and I guess that must be Christmas moss. And the reason I'm using AquaDecor in here is because I want the Hygrophila pinnatifida to grow out of water, and the AquaDecor pinnatifida has been already kind of growing above water. It is rooted to the driftwood and is going to absorb moisture from underneath, so that one is having the best chances to grow through the surface. And well, the wood is already covered with moss, just makes it easier for me. So let's start scaping. I would like to make a triangular island, of course. That's a swamp. We're going to have cosmetic sand in the front and maybe more on that side. So definitely heavier on that, on the left side from your viewing direction. And I would like to build up a really deep slope, or steep slope to call it. So for that reason, I would like to put that AquaDecor right here like this. So we start very low in the foreground and we get taller towards the back. Now let me get out another piece of AquaDecor. here we have it. And yeah, so I think I'm going to build, or the idea is to build the base structure for this layout, yeah, based on that AquaDecor pieces. And to do so, you see me arranging the bogwood pieces next to each other. So I'm building some sort of an island here in the background of the aquarium. And at the same time, I have to somehow keep some free space in the back as well, so I can make a soil slope and actually put in some stem plants to grow out of the water. But we'll figure out as we go. That one I haven't tested beforehand. I know those 3 pieces should fit inside, and yeah, we can try and look for the best fit in here. That one has naked side here, so I might want to hide that one somewhere in the back. Does this look like something? Let me check from the front side how that looks like. Yeah, that looks kind of interesting, like a slope. I have a lot of space in here for the background planting, so that doesn't really look like a triangular shape, what I initially wanted to make. But I don't know, it doesn't have to be a triangular shape. We can easily change our plans here as we go. I don't know, I think I like it. I mean, the overall theme is just to have cosmetic sand foreground and some sort of plants growing out of the water in the back, and to have this, I don't know, like, what is it called, like the riverside effect. I think I'm cool with that placement, super easy, just 3 pieces of AquaDecor to create this slope effect. Now, what I have to do next is take some small rocks and try to fit them from the back underneath the wood to kind of block yeah, all the free space, so I can fill in the soil in the back, and then some cosmetic sand in the foreground to actually keep the soil in the back. So let's do this. Oh, I got myself a box of Minilandscape Rock, and those are selected small pieces. They are very small, and they're all looking quite nice. They can be used for details in iwagummis. And yeah, what I'm looking for are small pieces that I can stuck underneath to fill in the gaps. I think that rock is nice, but it's a little bit too big. So I thought I could use bigger pieces. Definitely we'll have to start with just smaller rocks here from the back. And I think I'm going to glue some of this driftwood together so it stays in place, you know, with the cigarette filter and super glue technique, so it doesn't slide to the front. But eventually I want first to add in some rocks so I can interconnect everything together. Probably is going to be super difficult once things are in place, but yeah, that is the process. Okay, cool. Let's get some more. That fits in quite well and is closing the gap from that side. I can check it from the back. I will of course use some additional materials to block the tiny little gaps, but we will get to that in a second. And I don't even know if I should start worrying about the pinnatifida and spraying it, because now it will start to dry out. So I will give it a little spray while scaping to keep it wet. Same for the moss. That one is too big. Let's go for more smaller pieces. So that is definitely not easy. I thought that would be a lot easier. So escaping this tiny Neo Glass aquariums is a little bit challenging. So they come, I mean, the benefit is you need very little material. I don't need a filter, I don't need a CO2 kit. Definitely more in the mid-ground here. Okay, that looks good. Some smaller gaps remaining and kind of a gap here in the middle. Just thinking if I should close it with a rock from the top or keep it kinda open and then just plant eventually Monte Carlo there to fill in that gap. That's the big question. I think the soil is not going to be too high anyway. And so we will have the plants growing out. I'm not filling all the way up. I want the plants to be initially covered by water and to have them grow out. Otherwise, they're not adapting by themselves. They're forced immediately and they have this they're drying out. So you're gonna keep that one open. We don't need to go crazy high with the substrate, but I see some other holes. For that, I got another, what is it, like a picture here with some smaller rocks inside. Always good to have the right hardscape. And if we look here from the back, we can I insert from the front? No, that doesn't really work from the front. I have to insert all the rocks from the back, and for that I'm using the angled tweezers. You see they're a little bit angled at the front. It makes it a little bit easier to get the rocks in those gaps from the back. Okay, that one I could have added from the front as well. Let's get some more rocks in those gaps and crevices. Maybe I can stuff it from the front. No, it doesn't fit in from the front. Okay, definitely next step I will have to glue a few things together, and I don't know how I'm going to do this. This is literally so cramped, everything, so little space to work around. But I also have filter wool that I can use and put into the gaps. For that I like to use here, it's called Juwel BioPads. So that Juwel BioPads, okay, they're like little pads. They come in the box already pre-cut, pressed to those little pieces, and they're used for like filters, built-in filters in aquariums. And I really like them because you already get the small pieces. You can just rip apart a small piece, and because it's kind of flat, it's super easy to work with. And that one I will try to just fit in from the sides and the back, in between those gaps where the rocks can go to the foreground. Yeah, to make it kind of invisible. No. That wasn't clever. So if I try to press something in between, everything is moving because it's not glued yet in place. This is a little bit challenging. I haven't expected this to be that difficult, but I also don't want to, how to say guys, just fill in the soil and then deal with it coming to the foreground. Or can I actually see those gaps from the front and stuff them? That would work. So you know what? I'm going to glue those things in place first with super glue. Just interconnect everything, because otherwise I'm just afraid it's going to fall apart as soon as I start putting things in between. So let's do that first. Since the interzoo-scaping at Tropica together with the Liquid Nature guys, I learned that you can take this, cotton pads and use them to glue things in place. Cotton is going to absorb, the super glue is soft, you can rip off small pieces. It's similar to the cigarette filter, and you don't have to clean the cigarette filter. And come on guys, those cotton pads, they are more easily available than cigarette filters, and they're just more fluffy and, in my opinion, also easier to use than cigarette filters. But you can use anything. You can even use toilet paper if you wanted to. Okay, now let's take my tiny tweezers and glue things in place. Which positions where to connect? I think almost more important than the wood is to keep the rocks in place. So I'm gonna use small pieces and stuff underneath the rocks from the back, and literally glue the rocks to the bottom of the glass. Liquid type, super glue. Okay, I would say the largest gaps we have filled. There is one bigger gap somewhere down there from the front. I don't know if you can see that down there, but like I just said, if you fill in some cosmetic sand from the front, it's going to block the soil coming in the back. So at the bottom, I'm not too worried about it. So what do we do first, cosmetic sand or soil? I would start with cosmetic sand because it's going to block the soil from coming in. So once again, using here my favorite ADA La Plata Sand for that purpose. Let's keep it somewhere nearby and get a little handy scoop. Filling in about 1 centimeter or 2 centimeters of La Plata sand here, really just a little bit to cover the foreground. So now let's get the sand flattener and even out things in the foreground and make sure the sand goes in all cracks. There looks like a little gap. How to get in sand. Yeah. I mean, with water it is going to fill in the gaps better. So there we go. Let me check from the front. Nice cosmetic sand foreground. And to finish that look, I have tiny gravels in here. So I'm going just to use my spoon and scoop in some of these to those transition areas. Even use some larger pieces like that one to support the hardscape visually. So that kind of brings us to where I wanted the foreground to be. We have the cosmetic sand, the rocks underneath, the driftwood, and some small grain size pebbles, and still some gaps to be filled in with plants. Because we have some scent on the driftwood, I'm using a little spray bottle here, or a drop bottle, to wash off the sand from the driftwood. That way everything is clean again, and we have all the tiny details in the foreground that we want to have. Let's give the glass a little wipe so it remains clean. And now on to the back of the aquarium. In here I'm going to fill in some soil. Got some here, and yeah, basically just going to pour it inside from the middle and then distribute with this sand flattener to the sides. And because we filled in all the gaps, I'm not afraid to see the soil coming to the foreground, which would be a little, it wouldn't be a nightmare, but would just add unnecessary work to cleaning it. I think this is about the height I want the soil to be in the back. So just because I cannot fill up the tank all the way to the top, and I want there a little bit of water to be above the soil, so the tissue culture plants that I'm planting there actually get to grow out of the water by themselves. There you go, this is what it looks like from the front. I have some soil that I accidentally spilled over. Okay, good. So, it is basically ready for planting. Now I have the choice to plant dry or plant wet. And usually I plant wet, but because here I really want to see the water level, basically I want to make sure that certain plants remain underwater. I'm going to fill up this tank. This is a little bit unusual for me, like I said. Usually I plant dry soil. This is a little different this time, so let's get some water. So this is 2.5 liters of water. That is so tiny. What I do now is a little trick. I basically spray down all the dirt on the surface to get rid of that little film that is here, which is basically just dust from the sand and the small rocks that I have put in. So at least the water surface is now clean. Let's check the front glass. It's a little bit cloudy. It is going to settle, but before I transport it to its final position, I will drain the water anyway and then refill. So we will get a much clearer result here, and doing water changes on this one will be definitely something I will be doing quite often, because there will be no filter. Like, come on, how can you attach a filter to this one? But as for the planting, I'm going to rotate the tank with the back side to you guys, so you can actually see how I plant from the back side. That is better for the camera, and I can see myself how it is going to look afterwards as a final result. So Mordania Kazak will be the last one to go in the background, or actually it might be Pogostemon erectus to go in the background, but now I have to decide. That spot will be definitely for the Monte Carlo to grow to the front. I'm gonna stuff some in there and in there. Okay, let's do this with the Monte Carlo first. Or actually, I even have a Monte Carlo tissue culture that is better suitable for that job, because that is really compact and I can just stuff it into the gaps, and then it is going to grow in from there. Just ripping apart small pieces. Hopefully you can see that. And then just squeezing here in between the bogwood and the glass. It's going to root by itself and crawl, growing to the foreground. I'm gonna do the same on the right side of the aquarium. Good, there, and now some more here towards the front. Okay, I still have some remaining. Let me check from the front. There is like a little gap that I will use to stuck in some Monte Carlo as well to fill it, and hopefully it's going to, I don't know, just grow from there. Yeah, so some of the pinnatifida definitely is a little bit dried out, but it's almost completely underwater and it's going to grow out. So I'm really curious how it is going to work out. There is a pro tip I learned from Takashi Amano, how to have bulbitis, you know, the Congo fern, grow out of water, very difficult to transition. Just take rhizomes and let them float on the surface, or in very shallow water, the new leaves are going to grow out of water and be immersed, and then you can attach it close to the water surface where you need them to be, and then they're going to grow out by themselves. As always, you know, just let things happen naturally. Mid-ground, coming in from here, I think that is a great highlight here for Hygrophila ARAGUAIA, and then I will add some MARSILEA and ELEOCHARIS around it, so it blends in the surroundings. Okay. Am I going to plant it all like in one chunk? Yeah, like, why not? One gigantic chunk of Hygrophila ARAGUAIA. Yep, that is going to be the Hygrophila ARAGUAIA spot. Okay, what else do we have here to be blended inside? We have here HYDROCOTYLE tripartita, Mordania Casac. Mordania will go in the back. We have Pogostemon erectus. Yes, that one I want to be somewhere around the Hygrophila ARAGUAIA. And then a Mordania Casac on the sides to kind of frame the picture. Okay, let's take the Pogostemon erectus. I really love the Tropica 1-2 grow cups with liquid medium. You basically just open the lid, take out the plant, squeeze out the remaining nutrient mix, and then you have just a clean plant ready to be planted into the aquarium. Just ripping apart that Pogostemon erectus, and it smells like rocket salad. So fresh. Okay, let's get small pieces of it. Approximately like 5-6 stems in that little bunch here. Yeah, planting that the entire background of the mid section. To plant with water in was the perfect idea, because now I'm exactly sure the plants are fully submerged. They will start growing and will grow out of the water by themselves. And this is how you can, you know, create this mini swamp with immersed plants the easy way. Just let the plants grow out on their own. ARAGUAIA, stay in place, don't float up. Approximately, what is it, half cup? No, almost 3/4 of the cup. I've planted, yeah, but it's definitely enough. I don't need all of the Pogostemon erectus, just here in the mid section. The sides are reserved for the Mordania Casac. What else do we have? MARSILEA HIRSUTA and ELEOCHARIS mini. Let's get some little details with these plants. The cool thing with MARSILEA HIRSUTA is it can grow out of water as well, with large, kind of like lucky cleaver looking leaves. So I'm just taking some portions of it and planting it a little bit here and there so it can spread out on its own. That rear corner there is really difficult to plant because it's almost entirely underneath the wood. So let's see how it goes. If nothing grows there, then I will have to fill in with rocks or something. Yeah, I really want to use that last piece of MARSILEA, but I don't really know where to put it. Okay, we'll go in here. Finally, ELEOCHARIS Mini. And again, just planting a little bit here and there, close with the Monte Carlo. When it all blends together, just going to look natural. That's it. Really not too much soil area in this aquarium. Now we're getting to, yeah, I would say we're going to plant the Mordania Kaysak next. It looks like bamboo, and it's definitely too big as it is right now. So what I'm going to do, what I'm going to use, stems or bottom section with roots. I'm gonna do both and then see which works better. Like a little experiment. Okay. Okay, I just cleaned off the rock wool. Now let's trim it to where the first side shoots are appearing. That is so difficult. I guess now I have to divide it and see and find those portions that I want to use. So yeah, let's put it down here and see which portions to use here further. Trim that back. Super long shoot. I see there's side shoot coming. So those are bottom pieces of Mordania Kaysak with some side shoots. I have shortened the main stems and I'm going to plant this to the side. So it's kind of almost submerged, so the new shoots can grow out of water by themselves. here we have a ton of side shoots, how to call it, root sections planted. Now let's take a couple stems that I trimmed off and shorten them all to the same length. Kind of same length. And plant them in the background and see how they do. Okay, so on the sides we have cuttings, and in the middle we're having those bottom section with roots. Okay, Mordania is in the place. And now the final plant to go inside is the HYDROCOTYLE TRIPARTITA. And yeah, maybe I will again rotate to the front for you guys so you can better see. I mean, from the front you don't see too much of the background planting, and the HYDROCOTYLE TRIPARTITA will literally just be stuck somewhere in between, so it can crawl all over the place. And just ripping off small pieces of that one, taking, you know, like individual strings. And just placing it in the water somewhere so it can grow from there. You really need just a little tripartita because this plant grows very fast, and yeah, you have to trim it frequently, otherwise it is easily going to be all over the place. But it also looks nice with a little mushroom-like leaves. Okay, somewhere on that side. Yeah, just going to stuck it there together with the pinnatifida and keep it there for now. Okay guys, so the mini swamp inside this DOOA Neo Glass Air, I think 30 by 18 by 12 centimeters, if I recognize correctly, is complete. This is my first swamp kind of shallow aquarium. I always wanted to make a shallow aquarium with plants growing out of water. Yeah, now I actually have accomplished this. And to be honest with you, let me have a view from the front, how this looks like. I like it, it's beautiful. It is looking very natural. We have the driftwood, we have the rocks in between, the plants going all the way up, and already now with the Mordania K-Suck sticking out of the water, a little bit of Christmas moss here, the pinnatifida that will grow out of water. Yeah, and hopefully the Hygrophila ARAGUAIA and POGOSTEMON ERECTUS will grow out of water as well. Yeah, I'm quite confident that it's going to be a really cool little nano pond. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the making of process of this mini pond aquarium. It is super fun to have it around here and enjoy it on a daily basis. In the next video you are going to see a more in detail update and a little bit of a maintenance routine on this mini pond. But in the video thereafter you get to choose which making of you would like to see next? Do you want to see the Wabicusa making off? Do you want to see the terrestrial moss Iwagumi, or do you want to see the Botanica Boutique Moss Terrarium? So comment down below 2, 3 or 4, and yeah, the number I will read most frequently you're going to see in the next video. This is it. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and support my channel. If you're not a subscriber yet, I would highly appreciate if you become part of the aquascaping family and just click that notification bell and you will get notified every time I upload a new video. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.